Hey everybody, we are back with my reading journal. I'm a very analog person and I keep up with my reading in a journal, not on a spreadsheet or on the computer or anything like that. So I participate in several challenges throughout the year and I try to keep them all in one spot. So this is my reading journal. I keep up with my reading in two different places. One is in a collaged reading journal that I did last year for 2025. This year I have yet to tackle it because life be lifing, and the beginning of the year I had a lot of upset the apple cart life events, and so I did not get started on it, and I have yet to jump into it. So still undecided. I could always go back and work on it and finish it for 2026 if I decide to do that. But we're halfway through the year, so I probably won't. I'll probably just kind of mentally prepare myself and get started for my 2027 reading. So, but they're all in here. So let's jump in. I wanted to do a flip through and kind of show you what all is in my reading journal and how I keep up with it. So there you have it. This is a soft cover, dotted. I got it from a friend of mine, but she got it from Amazon. I love the size. It's got the strap to keep it closed. I'm in love with this journal. It's working out really good for me. So much so that just this last week or so, I bought some more in preparing for 2027's reading journal. So, one of the challenges that I do and is in this is Herkyed, hardest reading challenge you ever did. And it goes from July through the end of June. So it's a mid-year, it goes for a year, but it starts mid-year. And that's throwing me off. So I'm in this book. I started it with Herkyed 2, which started July of 2025 and went through this last week, end of June, 1st of July, 2026. So that's in here, but I've also completed my 2025 stats and started my 2026 challenges in here. So this journal is going to last me through the end of 2026. And then I think for 2027, I'll start a new one and I'll probably just transfer, because I've got Herkyed 3 in this, which goes from July now, 2026, to June 2027. Something tells me I should do my Herkyed in a whole separate journal and just do this yearly. But I'm working with it. I'm going to keep this one through December 2027, and then I'm going to transfer my bingo board. Herkyed is basically a bingo board. I'm going to transfer that and start my 2027 with that. All that to be said, that's future plans, but let's jump into it. Table of contents gets us started. I have no idea why I do a table of contents in a journal. It's my journal. I know where everything's at. But I thought it was fun to get started. My next one probably won't have a table of contents because I ran out of room. So anyways, started July 11th of 2025. And again, I'll complete this the end of December 2026. Each year I try to do the Pantone color of the year, read a book with that cover. So 2025 was Mocha Moose, and I did that graphic novel. My Goodreads goal for 2025 was 55 books. I completed that. So yeah, that's the intro to my reading journal. 2025 challenge was Buzzwords and Buzz Covers by Books and Lala on YouTube. Completed that. I got started a little late on this, which is why these top ones I didn't read during that month. I read them, but not during that month. I'm doing this again for 2026. You'll see it later. So again, that's the challenge, Buzzwords and Buzz Covers by Books and Lala on YouTube. Here's the Herkyed 2.0 challenge. Hardest reading challenge you ever did or you'll ever do. It's a challenge for sure. Here's the bingo board for it. I completed 2.0, all except for this prompt. So the fun thing about Herked is that each of these individual prompts are challenges within themselves. Most of the time, bingo board is read a book with a red cover or read, 500 pages. These individual bingo boards are challenges within themselves. And this one challenge I didn't complete because I didn't read a 600-page or a 700-page book. Everything else I did, though. So we'll just flip through these. This is the Herked prompts by the 100s. 24-hour readathon. Subgenre. Series staircase. Award season. TBR game. The last 10 years. Published the last 10 years. Disability representation. All the adaptations, so you read a book that also had a musical or a web series or an animation. Heritage months. I read the books in the month that they were. So like February is Black History Month. May is Jewish Heritage. So that is the Heritage months. Translations. Read books that are translated. Around the world, so you read where the author is from or where the book is set. North America, South America, Antarctica, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia. The even bigger rainbow covers, so you read a book with those covers. Read the quote, so you picked a quote and then you read a book with those words. So my quote was "To Infinity and Beyond." So I read a book with "To," read a book with "Infinity" and beyond. Spooky creatures. That's pretty self-explanatory. Read a book with these creatures in it. Zombies, spirits, magic users, vampires, mermaids. Become the Avatar. Featured on the cover. Earth, air, water, fire. Animals are better. Read 5 books about different animals, zoo animals, wild animals, farm animals, exotic pets, and house pets. Complete a readathon. For this prompt, I did 2. I tackled 2. Banned book week, and then reading about writing. The queer alphabet. So all these representations. Herked, your favorite Herked prompt. Herked 1 prompt. So this is Herked 2. And one of the prompts was to do your favorite Herked 1 prompt. I didn't participate in Herked 1, so I had to choose something that I didn't do before. And I chose 2. I tackled 2. Read a book for every season in that season. And then read a book that features a recipe that isn't a recipe book and make that recipe. I read Love and Saffron. I didn't make the recipe. I got it all wrote down. I just haven't done it yet. But we completed this because we completed this prompt. BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, Person of Color representation. New releases. So read a book within 60 days of publishing. I was surprised that I did so good on this because I don't typically keep up with the new releases. So, but we got that done. Challenge yourself. This was to kind of do a reading challenge, how, kind of choose your own. Since I was doing some extras and I was already reading so many books, I just decided to challenge myself to post 15 bookish videos on my bookshelf channel, which is a fairly new channel. It's a small channel, and so I did this in an effort to get it off the ground. Sorry, I'm drinking my coffee off to the side. So, challenged myself to post some bookish videos. I completed that. And then life happened, and I haven't been back on my channel until now. So, I'm needing to revisit this. I need to re-challenge myself. Nonfiction representation. There was not enough of this. I'm a nonfiction nerd, and I could read nonfiction all day long. And so 6 of those was pretty easy. In the Hercad 2 challenge, she did bonus prompts each month. I started out strong, kinda. So she would post these secret prompts, and you had certain days to get them completed. And she was mainly posting them on like Reddit and Substack, from my understanding, and I don't follow her on either one of those. And the Instagram posting and the YouTube postings weren't as easy to find the prompts. So I kept up with the prompts. I just didn't keep up with until I couldn't keep up with it at all. But I made space for it. I just didn't complete it. So the last prompt was Q's Reviews. Again, this challenge is hosted by QWERTY on YouTube. And she does a lot of book reviews and all that. And so this prompt was to read a book that she had reviewed and, kind of review it yourself. Did you agree? Did you not agree? So we got that done. Also in 2025, every year for many years, I've participated in the Pop Sugar Challenge. So Pop Sugar is what it is. Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. I'm not sure who hosts it. But you can Google Pop Sugar Reading Challenge and find it. Every year they post about 50-ish prompts for the year, for the reading challenge. Pop Sugar 2025, I completed it. So that's what all this colored stuff is. Completed that. And then A to Z challenge for 2025. This is the read a book that starts with that letter. I did pretty okay, except for U and X. I said V here, but it's X. U and, that's a pencil, but that's okay. U and X. And then the author ABCs, I did all this except for Q, and I was stuck on U. Q and Y. I did pretty okay with that. That's for 2025. I made space for Reading with the Tarot Challenge. Of course, the tarot deck is 70 some odd cards, and that means 70 some odd books. And Noelle 7 pages. At Noelle 7 pages is where I got these prompts. I have not tackled this. It's all in here and ready, but I've not tackled it. Basically, the idea is you draw a card, and whatever that card is, say it's the Knight of Pentacles or Knight of Swords, you go to that and you read that prompt. I think it's a fun challenge. I just haven't started it, and I haven't figured out how's best for me to tackle it. So, but it's in here, and it probably is, honestly, is probably going to be a waste of space because I'm not going to tackle it before the end of the year, and I don't know if or how I'll carry it over for 2027. But it's pretty, and it's in here, and it's ready to go. 50 states, the state the book was set in. This is just kind of an ongoing challenge. This wasn't for 2025. I started it in 2025, and I'm still doing it in 2026. I still have a few states that I'm missing, and that's okay. Yeah, so it carries on in there. Read the Weather was a simple little challenge that I wanted to do. And in Hercad 3.0, one of the prompts is related to this, so I might start with this. I haven't tackled this yet. I've got some penciled in ideas, and haven't decided what I'm doing with this. So, but it's here. And I guess whenever I read a book, I'll put it on there. But I haven't read a book that features these big weather-related events. So that's still in here. Then I get into my backlist authors. These I started these pages again in 2025. My reading has changed a little bit since then, so I don't know how many of these will carry over to 2027. But basically, it's a checklist of the books by certain authors, and my idea is to work on their backlist. So some of some of my favorite authors. But again, my reading has changed, and so some of these will not carry over to 2027. Lizzie will. Elizabeth Gilbert will, definitely. I love her to pieces. So, anyways, so that's these little collage pages. I'm probably not going to carry over Frida McFadden or Colleen Hoover. I've read a handful of their stuff and I'm not overly impressed. So these probably won't carry over. S.A. Cosby, I've read one of his books and it was excellent, and so I would like to read more of his stuff. Same for Lucinda Berry. I've read one of her books and enjoyed it. So these two will probably carry over. Christina Lauren, I enjoy their books. I've read several. Several I still need to check off, so... Cy Montgomery, I love her stuff. Read a handful of hers. This is not an extensive list of her stuff. This is just the ones that sounded interesting to me. She has written books for a while and has an extensive list. Abby Jimenez, I've read a handful of hers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete her list. I read 5. So I like her stuff. If you're into romancy type stuff. Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is one of my bestie's favorite authors, and I read Atmosphere and loved it, and so I feel like I need to read more of her stuff. I just haven't yet. Some of these I have, like in my bookshelf. I just haven't read them yet. Mary Roach. I love her. She writes nonfiction stuff. This book, Stiff, The Curious Lives of Cadavers, this was the first book I read that was like, oh, I think I really like reading. And I love this book and recommend it to anybody that likes weird stuff about dead people. But I like her stuff. I have a couple of her books on my bookshelf that I need to... I feel like I've read Gulp, but I need to double check that. But anyways, I love her. So that's the extent of my backlist authors that I'm working on. Again, some of these will carry over into 2027 somehow. I don't know if I'll remake them or carry the pages over or what. I haven't figured that out yet. So this was my 2025 wrap up. My top 3 books were All the Way to the River by Elizabeth Gilbert, Atmosphere, and The Women. Very woman focused, and that's okay. I read a total of 124 books in 2025. Here's the breakdown of my total books that I read. I officially DNF'd 3. The first book I read was The Serviceberry. The last book I read was Dear Writer, You Need to Quit. So this is my 2025 wrap up. This is my 2026 start page. Again, color of the year, Pantone was Cloud Dancer. I read The Hummingbird's Gift. That matches pretty well. My Goodreads goal is to read 75 books for this year. And then this is just a few of my reading goals tucked in there for 2026. And then, so I'm starting out, I tried to tackle the 12 friends for 12 books, but I either don't have 12 friends or don't have 12 friends that recommended me good books. I've got a few recommendations on here, and I'll work on them as I can. Here are my buzzword and buzz covers. Excuse me. For 2026, again, hosted by Books and Lala on YouTube. I'm not doing so hot on 2026. My covers, here we are in July, which is the 7th month. I'm 3 out of 6, so I'm halfway completed. I didn't do too well. Same with my titles. So this is the covers and this is the titles. Here we are in month 7 and 3 to 3. So not doing so hot on that. I need to get it together, Shell. This was another fun little challenge, Emotion Potion. Read a book that makes me cry, laugh, stay up late, rage, sad, calm, happy, fall in love. This is a random challenge that I thought was cute, and so we have it in here. Pop Sugar 2026, I'm doing okay with it. I'm not impressed with the prompts this year, I'll be honest. Some of them I'm struggling with, but we're still doing it. So here we are with Pop Sugar 2026. And then here's my alphabet authors, ABC authors. Doing pretty okay on that. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's all the V, X, Z, Y, all those. Doing pretty okay on that. Authors. Here's my alphabet soup for titles. I'm doing pretty okay on this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to go for 2026. Here is my Battle of the Books, my bracket to get to the favorite book of the year. I did this last year in my reading collage journal because I wasn't doing this journal at the time. But I'm doing pretty okay to keep up with my favorite book for the month, and then they'll break down to here, and then they'll break down, and eventually I'll get my favorite book of the year. Onward Book Club is a book club that Elizabeth Gilbert does online. The challenge, or the book club, is a celebration of Black female authors. And these sound really interesting to me, so I've created space for them. I've read a couple of them. I haven't decided if I'm going to continue with this or not, but I've got space for it. 2026, my word for the year was habit, and that kind of went out of the window in February when my life kind of turned upside down. But I've got some books about habits, habit forming and things like that I wanted to try to tackle. I've read one. So there you have that. Don't think I'll get through this by the end of the year. And honestly, habit is not, it's hard to create a habit when you're in the middle of chaos. And so that word of the year has not been very good to me this year. So moving on. Here's a page for different quotes from different books. And I've been doing pretty okay with that. When I come up with a quote from a book, I try to remember to grab it and write it down. So we have this quote page. Showing my bookshelf some love. My challenge is to low or no spend. I'm doing okay with that. February, May, and June, I bought some books. I'm just keeping up with how much I spend and how many books or whatever I bought. So read what you own, 20 books in 2026. These books are on my shelf and I've been meaning to read them for a while, and as you can see, we're halfway through the year and I have not completed any of these. I will say I'm in the middle of this one. This one's a journaling book, so it's kind of like a read a prompt journal about it every day kind of thing. I'm in the middle of this one. And I'm in the middle of this one. This one's a small one. So I'm not doing so hot with this, but it's in here and maybe I can get it tackled. Here is my reading wrap-ups for the month. I did individual little library cards for the month. with how many books. So at the end of the month, I'll write down how many books I read, my thoughts about it, and list the books that I read. Been keeping up with that. Pretty okay. This was a cozy reading challenge that I printed off. It's kind of a read a book, get a pizza kind of thing. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. I'm not 100% impressed with this, but it's just in here and I'm checking it off. And if I complete it, then I'll treat myself to pizza and a movie. I don't really know that that's a treat, but we'll make it happen. Life in Balance 2026. These were some books, health-related books that I wanted to read. I am not doing so hot with that. Some of these books I have, most of them I have on my shelf. Yeah, 2026 so far has just really been a crap year, so I'm doing good to survive. So here is where my Hercule 3 starts. And I left all these pages for this challenge, and we'll flip through it kind of quick. I've got my bingo board, and then starts my prompts. I won't go over this in entirety because it's not completed. And I'm going to do another video that goes over all these prompts. So there's all my Hercule 3 prompts. Hercule 3, Hercule 3, Hercule 3. That leaves me with a couple of blank pages before the end of the book. And the end of the book is, here's a suggestion. These are books that I come across, that I screenshot or see on social media or whatever that I want to read. They may be on my shelf or whatever, but I just jot them down. Now, my plan for this in 2027 is to review it, like really dig deep into it and look up these books and say, do I really want to read that? Does that really sound interesting? Do I need to continue it in the next year? So that's that. And that completes my book. Oh, here's a reading bucket list challenge that it's a sticker that I got. Pretty simple stuff. I forgot that was back there. So anyways, 2027 reading journal planning, and there you have it. So that is my reading journal for the most part. I do have a couple of stickers from Peanut Butter Taco on Etsy that are reading challenges. This is a thriller challenge. It's little stickers with like secrets from the past or return to hometown. Anyways, thriller type reading. And then the cover challenge, like different covers. So I haven't decided where to put these. I'll probably hang on to them and do them somewhere in my 2027 book. Because they were just really cute. Peanut Butter Taco has a lot of cute stickers. So anyways, that is our 2025 into getting ready for, or through 2026, my reading journal. I just did a Hercule 2 wrap-up video, and I'll soon do a Hercule 3, getting ready for Hercule 3 video as well. So, but for now, this is what we have. Again, life has been kind of crazy this last 4 or 5 months, but I have managed to keep up with this for the most part. And I'm pretty okay with that. So anyways, wanted to share it with you, and I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.